Hello. We are going to ask you a few questions related to Holden Caulfield. We shall start by asking your names.
Hello, I am Mrs. Spencer, and he's my husband, Mr. Spencer.
Hello.
All right. Now we are going to ask you how and when you met Holden and what was your relationship with him like.
Well, I met him at class. I used to teach him history at Pensy boarding school. He was never a good student. Actually, he had got expelled from the other school before. He wasn't interested. He didn't study. I felt really disappointed. He failed 4 out of 5 subjects at school, even history. But anyway, we had a close relationship. He sometimes came home and talked to me.
That's when I met him. He came home to ask my husband for some advice. He was a really nice kid, very polite.
Yeah, he usually did that kind of things, just appear and ask me things. But then he didn't pass this exam, just inexplicable.
Right. When was the last time you two saw him?
Well, the last time Caulfield came to our home was in winter, about 4 days before going on vacation. He just came to see how was I doing. I had a terrible wife, and you know, at an age those things can kill a strong man like I am. Yeah. He came to my room and we talked about a few things. How was at school and all that. He was failing all of his subjects. Well, except English. I didn't want to flank him, but boy, you should have seen those exams. He knew nothing, even if he was a great guy, a really great guy. I just could pass him. I mean, he really knew so little about history. So, after that, I just told him what an adult could say to a teenager. Life is a game, with its rules. Play it and you'll be safe. I didn't think he really understood what I was saying. I hope he has now.
Hello. Today you'll answer a few questions about someone you know, Holden Caulfield.
Right, I know him.
Okay. So, first of all, what's your name?
I'm Robert Ackley.
So, how did you know Mr. Caulfield and what do you think about him?
I met him at Pensy in Agerstown. We shared a shower. The shower connected our rooms, so I usually went to his and borrowed things or stayed for a chat. He was nuts, for Christ's sake. He used to do really annoying things, horsing around all the time. Totally nuts. Surely he got based such an idiot. But I guess we were friends. We hung out a few times. He could be weird as hell sometimes. He normally didn't talk to other guys. I didn't either, so I don't care much. He could also be a son of a bitch, especially when he called me Ackley Kid or Prince Boy. I could be his Lucy father, for Christ's sake. Do know, just another guy in school.
I see. So, when was the last time you saw him or talked to him?
Last time I saw him, I was sleeping and he was lying in the bed next to me. It was my roommate, so I didn't want him to sleep in there. He woke me up and said some goddamn crap about religion. Boy, he could be annoying. Next morning, he was just gone, but I think I heard him shout something that night like, "Sleep tight, ya morons." Still trying to figure out if it was a dream or he really did it. I'm sure he even appeared in my damn dreams. The hell of a guy.
Hello, Mr.
Stradlater, Ward.
Alright, so you know Holden. Tell us about how you met him.
Holden was my roommate. He was quite a nice guy, a buddy. He sometimes wrote my essays. He was damn good at it. And he knew where my things were every time. We didn't hang out much together. He never really went out with the kids. Kind of a weird guy, but still nice. The thing that really irritated me about him was that he always was smoking in the room. I hated that so much.
I see. So, when did you last see him?
Last time I saw him. Oh, hell yeah, I remember. He tried to punch me in the face. I stopped him and let him go, because he promised he'd shut his mouth. But then he started shouting something about me being a moron. Didn't know what the hell, for Christ's sake. Just total mad. I knocked him down. I'm pretty sure he was jealous of me, and that's why he hated me. Or maybe because he liked that girl, Jane. Oh no, Jane. Jane Gallagher, a girl I went out with one night. Kind of cute, but not too special. They knew each other, and he left school that night. I hope it wasn't my fault to still think about him sometimes.
Hi, as you know, we are here to talk about Holden. Let's start by knowing your name.
I'm Jane Gallagher.
Right. So tell us about Holden. When and how did you meet him first?
We met when we were children in Maine during the summer. He talked to me one day and we just became friends, playing golf and checkers all the time. I loved the way he looked at me when I left all my pieces in the back row when I played checkers. He always talked to me, his younger brother Ali. Did you know he died for leukemia? I never got the chance to meet him, but I'm pretty sure he would have been a lovely kid. I feel so sorry about him. This changes Holden's life for a lot. I suppose that's why he sometimes acted as a kid. I had a big crush on him, so we stopped going to Maine. We lost touch.
Was in Maine the last time you saw him?
Yes, I think so, but the last time I heard about him, if that's what you really want to know, was when I met this guy at Pensy and we had a date. He appeared to be Holden's roommate. It was absolutely amazing, but he didn't even go down to the annex to see me. My date told me Holden wasn't feeling like seeing me just when we had left Pensy, so I couldn't go back to his room to say hi and tell him off. Such a shame. I would have loved to see him really, but I don't understand why he didn't come. I mean, he said nothing. He tried to talk, Ward. Yes, that's quite the guy's name. Yeah, I tried to talk about him and what we used to do as children. He didn't seem interested at all though. Days after, I tried to go back to Pensy to see Holden, but he had left some days before. I have no idea of where is he now, but I hope everything's going great for him. And I'd love to see him and play checkers again for a while.
Miss. You know Mr. Caulfield, right?
Yes.
So tell us, what is your name?
My name is Cavendish. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So, how did you meet Holden?
Holden? I don't really know him. I mean, he's friend of Eddie Bertsen from Princeton. Eddie gave him my number. Well, the thing is, he phoned me on the middle of the night on Saturday. He wanted to meet me to have a drink or something, but it was too late, He sounded attractive, very attractive, but I never saw him. He sounded very young, but he was sweet. But I would like to know him.
Yes, tell me your names.
I'm Laverne, this is Marty, and she's Bernice.
Oh, great. So, I know you met Holden, but when and how?
We met him at his bar in New York. He told us his name was Jim Steele. Well, the thing is that we were in New York for holidays. We were willing to see all the famous people that live in the big city. Lucille Ball, Harry Truman. And the first day we were there, we saw Peter Lorre.
Can you believe it? Peter Lorre!
Well, the thing is that the first time we saw Jim, Holden, or whatever his name is, was in the lavender room in the hotel. He was sitting at a table on his own, drinking and smoking all the time. And he was staring at us like if he wanted to marry us or something. Finally, he came to our table and asked me to dance. I'm a pretty good dancer, so I accepted him just to do him a favor. I have to admit that he was a good dancer too, but he was talking all the time. I didn't even listen to him. When we finished dancing, he sat on our table. He was sweet, but it's a pretty late, and he was so young, so we left. I think he stayed drinking and smoking on his own.
What's your name?
I'm Lillian Simons.
Who was Holden Caulfield to you?
Well, I used to date his older brother, D.B., so he was like a brother to me at that time.
So when did you last see him?
Last time I saw Holden, oh yes, it was at Ernest's Club, a Saturday night, when I was with a Navy guy I had just met. Then I saw Holden having a drink and a cigarette, sat in a table next to mine. I was so excited to see him, because when I dated his brother, we used to talk and all. He was a very good guy.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Sunny.
Fine. So, how and when did you meet Holden Caulfield?
Holden. What an odd boy. I thought his name was Jim Steely though. Well, the thing is that I went to his Lucía hotel in the middle of the night. I didn't feel like, but old Maurice told me to go there, as a favor. So I went there, even it was freezing and it was snowing outside. Whatever, I went there. Room 1222, I still remember. And there was him. My first impression was that he was only a kid. So I asked him his age. He told me he was old enough to know better. Honestly, I didn't like him much, so I decided to take off my dress to finish as soon as it was possible. But when I did it, he told me he didn't want to lie with me. He just wanted to talk. Oh my God, it was the first time in my life that someone makes me go to his house in the middle of the night just to talk. I couldn't believe it. Well, the thing is that we were talking for a while, but he was smoking all the fucking time, and I got on my nerves. So, after half an hour, $10 just to talk. That was ridiculous.
Good evening, sweetie. What's your name?
I am Phoebe. Phoebe.
Okay, Phoebe. So tell me about your brother Holden.
Holden. It's been a while since I didn't see him. I miss him. I remember we used to go to the park. We used to go with our brother, D.B. And Ali, he died. But I don't want to talk about it. Holden used to say that I was very, very good listener for a little kid. I used to go to the cinema with him. We went to see this French movie, The Bakers, like 10 times. Oh my God, I know that film by heart. He used to say that I was someone you always feel like talking to on the phone. But he hasn't phoned me since he went to Pensy. I really miss him. He used to say that I was too emotional for a 7-year-old girl, and he loved my books. Oh, I haven't told you about my books. I used to write books, and all of them were about a detective girl called Hazel Waterfield, and a tall, attractive gentleman about 20 years old. But I never finished them because I always ran out of ideas before.
So, when was the last time you two spoke?
One night, he surprised me in my room, and I got very excited. I wanted to tell him things such as my favorite film or who was my best friend, but he kept asking me when was Daddy coming home. And I asked him if he'd come home on Wednesday, but he said no, so I got very sad. Because he promised me, he did. And he told me he had got expelled from Pensy, and he couldn't explain why. I knew it was because he didn't like school. He doesn't like anything. He hates it all. Daddy was gonna kill him. Finally, he went for some cigars, and when he came back, he started dancing. Suddenly, Mom appeared in the front door, and he had to hide under the bed. He had been smoking, so I had to say it was my fault. Well, after that, Holden left. Last time I saw him was when he came to pick me up at school, when he told me he was leaving. I wanted to go with him, but he didn't let me, so I got mad at him, and we went to the zoo. It was a carousel. I thought it was closed for winter, but it was working. So Holden told me to ride. I kissed him and I rode. While I was riding, he disappeared, and I haven't seen him since then.
I just don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with myself.
Hi, what's your name?
Espérate.
Oye, le he dicho súper... What's your name?
Lucía, te voy a matar, ¿eh?
Hi, what's your name? Hi, what's your name?
I'm Sunny.
Fine. So, how and when did you meet Holden Caulfield?
Oh, Holden.
Yeah. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Sunny.
Fine.
Perdón, ya.
Ale, he came to ask my father's... That's when I met him. He came home to ask my husband for some... Met him. He came home to ask my husband for some advice. He was a really nice... Hello, Mr... No, que me tienes que acabar la... We were willing to see all...
So, girls, tell me your name. So,
Tú, Lucía, te mato, de verdad.
so, girls, tell me your names.
Lucía, te voy a...
Can you believe it, Peter Lord?
What?
Vale.
Es que no le digo. Espérate. The experience I've never understood. Actually, he had got...
Just to do him a favor.
It's not hotel, it's hotel.
Robert Ackley. I met him at Pence in Agents.
Quítate los pantalones, ¿vale?
No.